Before he founded one of the most influential companies in the world, Bill Gates grew up here in Seattle and attended Lakeside School.
Now, for the first time ever, he is telling his story in a surprisingly candid new memoir called Source Code. In it, the Microsoft co-founder details his life before the early heydays of the company. He talks about his childhood, his early passions, and the experiences that shaped him. One of the more unexpected life lessons learned: don't go to the dentist after taking LSD.
That's quite a tease. Bill Gates joins us live this morning from New York City to talk about his first book, which is actually part of a trilogy, and it comes out today. So, Bill, you are one of the richest men in the world. You're one of the most influential tech entrepreneur in history. You've been in the public eye for 50 years, but you've rarely spoken about your personal life until now. Your memoir is refreshingly candid. You talk a lot about your teenage years, your childhood, your time at Harvard, and also the death of your best friend at a young age. Why did you decide to write this book?
Well, mostly I look forward and, back innovations, whether it was software or global health type work that the foundation does. So it is unusual to be so reflective, but turning 70 this year, Microsoft's turning 50, the foundation's turning 25, and to think back on my amazing dad, my amazing mom, the teachers who helped me out. I had a fantastic childhood that really put me in a position to see computing. The Seattle area was a great place to grow up, and now I'm sharing those thoughts about how lucky I was.
Paul Allen is talked about quite a bit in the book as well, and your childhood friend and Microsoft co-founder, of course. In the book, you describe some pretty revealing moments of the two of you, your friendship and your time over the years, including that LSD incident you had with him. How has your view of him possibly changed over the years, Bill? It was a difficult relationship with him.
Well, during the time that we worked together, which was the very early Microsoft, Paul was amazing. He had the vision. He moved back to Boston because he wanted me to drop out and really start hiring people, the kind of things that I could do. And so we had a blast. I mean, it enabled Paul to do some great things afterwards, buying sports teams and traveling the world. So, I have nothing but thanks that he and I got to know each other, and, our dream really came true, our vision of personal computing.
You've done a lot of interviews as of late to publicize this book that's coming out today. And in some of those interviews, you recently addressed your association with Jeffrey Epstein, describing it as a mistake. You met with Epstein, who was a convicted sex offender, to talk about global health philanthropy. And as you mentioned, you've done a lot of self-reflection as you're writing this book. As you look back on that, would you say that that is one of the biggest regrets in your life?
I had a few dinners with him, and it was a mistake. But, I have many other things that, I think about in terms of both personally, business things that I did. I've had a very full life. I've been mostly pretty lucky, but a lot more mistakes than just that one, I would say.
Then, while on the contrary, what would you say would be your proudest moment personally in your life so far?
Well, the work at Microsoft, I'm very proud of. The work at the foundation is my full-time activity. I have 3 amazing kids who are off building their own careers. So each one of those things I have been very blessed with.
In your book, Bill, you also talk about how when you were a child, you may have been diagnosed on the autism spectrum if you were growing up as a kid today, which is so revealing. What advice do you have for other kids today who maybe don't feel like they fit in, or could maybe use their interesting or unique traits as a strength in their life?
Well, definitely not fitting in. Sometimes is because you have things that will be beneficial. You know, I had teachers tell me that I should move ahead a grade or two. You know, same year I had teachers saying maybe I should be held back. And confounded my parents that my social skills were slow to develop, and I would, you know, challenge them a lot. I'd, you know, sit in my room and read. But in fact, you know, those are the very things that allowed me to learn software and see that this digital revolution was coming. And so nurturing even your unusual behaviors can be a real strength.
Proved to be a real strength for you, for sure. Now, this book ends with your drive back to Seattle in 1979. So childhood all the way up until then. There will be 2 other books to follow. Have you started writing them? And what are we going to learn in the next 2 volumes?
Yeah, initially I thought I would just do 1 book, but I felt like I wasn't covering important things like my parents or Lakeside or the relationship with Kent and Paul. And so when the idea of splitting it up came up 18 months ago, then it all kind of fell into place. So I've done a lot of work gathering material, interviewing people, and so probably 2 to 3 years from now, I'll do the volume that focuses on Microsoft, and then, you know, finishing up with the one about giving all my money away.
Looking forward to seeing the Seattle chapter. Real quick before you go, what book are you reading right now, Bill?
I've read the Harari book called Nexus that talks about how when we make advances, it doesn't always end up being beneficial, and it's kind of a cautionary note for this AI age that we're entering into.
And to end our interview on a fun note, my husband recently saw you standing in line by yourself at Dick's Drive-In, which apparently you're a big fan of, but I know that you're also a huge fan of Burger Master. So I'm just curious, is it Burger Master or is it Dick's?
You can like both. Those are quite different, but 2 of my favorites.
Nothing in the book, though, about Dick's. We'll have to work on that in chapter 2.
Switzerland on that one.
Source Code, New Beginnings, is out new today. Bill Gates, thank you so much for taking the time so early in the morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we should mention that proceeds from the book will all be donated to the nonprofit United Way worldwide. He says his organization holds a special meaning because his mom, Mary Gates, was a volunteer and a board member of United Way of King County here in Seattle and United Way International. Now
you can watch Bill Gates and talk more about his book on the Today Show right here on King 5 at 7:30.